WRC TV, Washington's #1 station for late news. This is News 4 at 11 with Jim Vance, Doreen Gensler, weather with meteorologist Bob Ryan, and sports with George Michael. Now, News 4 at 11.
The San Francisco Bay Area earthquake turned this overpass into a concrete tomb for 250 people. Tonight, rescuers thought they had found someone alive in the debris here, and frantic efforts began to free the survivor. But within the last few moments, hopes that someone had survived turned out to be false. Good evening, everyone. I'm Doreen Gensler.
And I'm Peter Ford, sitting in for Jim Vance. Tonight, the earthquake is being called the second worst earthquake in the United States. The only one more deadly was a legendary earthquake that shattered San Francisco in 1906. David Diaz of our sister station WNBC reports now from San Francisco.
And the fact that there was little damage to the city's business district may have encouraged a feeling of invincibility. But then again, in addition to the crumpled buildings in the fashionable marina area, there were the crushed cars and their drivers on the collapsed interstate, whose anguished cries were all those who had come to help ever reached.
When we first went in, was cars that were on fire and smoking, dust all over the place, and people saying, "Help me, help me."
What did all around you was just too traumatic and awesome of an experience to relate to anyone right now.
The number of missing persons at this time reported to Oakland is 86.
The people in this car, whose terrifying encounter with the unexpected was unexpectedly captured by this amateur video.
My mind was thinking at the time, you're not seeing what you're seeing. It was just too unreal to put into words even, and it took me a while to even realize we've got to help.
That could have been us, but yeah, that could have been us, but we just turned around.
All of it adding up to an unwelcome reminder that a sword of destruction did not hang over, but did lay under this picturesque city. A city so attractive, a son had convinced his parents to leave Cleveland for and to retire in.
Moved in here at the beginning of September. Why? This building. Moved out to California, retired, and moved out here. To be near their son in the idyllic California.
Yes, San Francisco had been through it before, and even worse. And it had survived its underground menace once again, but not without a price. In San Francisco, David Diaz, News 4 Washington.
Not far from San Francisco, 2 people are known dead tonight in the town of Santa Cruz. That's the town closest to the epicenter of the earthquake. Residents say the quake rippled down that town's main street. 60 stores in a 6-block mall were destroyed by the force of the trembler.
We are in for a long-term rebuilding project in this community, both residentially and commercially. We need to hang together, and we're going to do that.
I don't know if this isn't the big one. I don't know what would be left of this town if we got anything bigger than what we had.
Right now, they expect it will take 3 days for electricity to be restored to this oceanfront community. Water supplies are contaminated here. Sewers aren't working either. Today, residents lined up for hours just trying to buy bread and bottled water. The damage estimate in Santa Cruz, California, is being put at $500 million at least.
Earthquake relief efforts are moving into high gear tonight, but the Red Cross, already spending more than $40 million on Hurricane Hugo victims on the East Coast, is appealing for money for victims on the West Coast. As Jim Upshaw reports, President Bush is promoting the federal response to the California quake.
Today, the Washington headquarters of the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, was rushing to provide relief to quake victims in far-off California.
And one of the immediate responses that our team is doing right now is working with the state to identify in a cooperative agreement where our disaster application centers should be.
FEMA setting up centers in California to take applications for grants to families and to offer temporary housing, while the military stands by to clear quake debris if necessary, and the Agriculture Department makes surplus food available.
Here's the president. How is it doing out there?
A California relief official heard from President Bush today as he stopped by FEMA, helping to polish its image after charges the agency moved too slowly to help Hurricane Hugo victims. Is it going to be quicker than the response, sir, and better to Hurricane Hugo this time?
Well, I hope there will be less carping. I thought that the response to Hugo was very good.
Mr. Bush will go to California Friday, close behind his vice president, who viewed San Francisco's damage today, while Red Cross workers here heard from local relatives of California victims.
My recommendation would be that you send them what they need, and that is, I would imagine, blankets.
Washington area residents who want to help Californians now have been asked to send useful items like blankets and money. Jim Upshaw, News 4, Washington.
The figures are still uncertain, but the latest casualty counts include 273 people believed dead and 650 injured so far. Among those trying to raise earthquake relief money for the Red Cross is former President Reagan, who today taped a television public service message in California.
That earthquake in the San Francisco area has shaken the country. The scenes of devastation there are shocking. But for one man from Rockville, Maryland, who was in that city 83 years ago, yesterday's earthquake seems more like a tremor. Joe Johns reports.
That is, as soon as the earthquake came in our house, everything that was loose was on the floor.
It was April 18th, 1906 in San Francisco. At 5:13 in the morning, DeWitt Baldwin, 8 years old at the time, was rising from bed to begin practicing to play the piano. But there was no music that morning. Instead came the sound of destruction as the worst earthquake in U.S. history tore the city apart.
Within 1 minute, you might say, the whole house was in dishevelment. You didn't begin with a nice house. You began with a broken house.
Baldwin, who is now 91, says pictures he's seen from the latest earthquake don't even compare with what he witnessed as a child.
And the difference is that the pictures which show San Francisco today show all the buildings. The houses are there.
The biggest problem in the old earthquake was the uncontrollable fire. It was boosted by severed, leaking gas lines. Firefighters were powerless because water lines were broken in the quake.
The fire kept going on within the house, where a big building had been. It probably is 6 or 7 days before the heat stopped, so people could begin to even clean up a little.
In the days after the earthquake, the military was brought in to control the crisis. They warned people not to set fires for any reason, not even to cook, and they meant it. Baldwin's mother disobeyed only once, lighting a tiny fire in order to heat milk for her baby.
There came a knock at the door very soon, and this soldier said, "Madam, you lit a fire." And my mother had to acknowledge it. He said, "If you do that again, I'll have to shoot you."
The latest earthquake in San Francisco was a nightmare for the people who live there. But for those few who remember how it was in 1906, things could have been worse. Joe Johns, News 4, Washington.
Estimates differ on the number of people who died in the 1906 earthquake. Some say only about 600 people were killed. DeWitt Baldwin says he believes the total may have reached 3,000. In other news, in southeast Washington tonight, a multiple shooting and a hacking, a frightening attack. We go now live to I.J. Hudson with the latest from southeast. I.J.?
Peter, so far we believe involved are a small caliber, perhaps 25 caliber automatic pistol, and also a handheld hatchet. Police tonight are on the porch of 1921 21st Place in Southeast. It happened a little before 10 o'clock tonight. What we can understand from the neighborhood is that basically a son got angry at his mom and struck out with a pistol and with a hatchet. 3 people were taken to D.C. General Hospital. Here is a rough description of what happened from a neighbor. What they believe is it was a domestic quarrel and that the young man pulled out a pistol and shot his mother.
She just left and ran out here, and the lady was still trying to get in, so I closed the door on the lady. And she came running back out and ran in further down the street like this, and then about 5 minutes later, another dude come knocking on the door, and he had a hatchet and a gun with him, saying, please let him in, he needs his phone, he feel like he's going to pass out. But we didn't let him in, so we called the police again. That's when y'all got here.
As we said, 3 people were transported to D.C. General Hospital suffering from both cuttings from the hatchet and from being shot. None is said to be in danger of losing their life. Police, as we said, are investigating. but so far are not sure of exactly what happened here on 21st Place tonight. I.J. Hudson, News 4, reporting live from Southeast. Doreen, Peter.
All right, thank you, I.J. Still to come on News 4 tonight, a harrowing emergency landing for a jetliner tonight.
And good news from the space shuttle. We'll update you on the mission when we come back.
News 4 at 11 is sponsored by Federal Express, the best way to ship it over there.
Coming up later on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. Johnny welcomes Night Court's Marcia Warfield.
I think some of us are just naturally built like sports cars, and some of us are just naturally built like luxury cars.
And actress Terry Garr is just a little bit nervous.
I just want you to have a good time. I want you to relax.
I've heard this before.
Have you really?
Then it's Johnny Clegg and Savuka. Coming up later tonight.
In this package is over 40 years of experience in overseas shipping and access to more air routes worldwide. Because Flying Tigers has changed its stripes and merged with Federal Express to form the largest all-cargo airline in the world.
When you're in business, timing is everything. That's why Eastern Airlines is so dedicated to being on time. According to the latest government figures of all major airlines, Eastern clocks in #1 again in on-time performance 11 of the last 12 months. Eastern, on time, time after time, because business waits for no one.
Not long before the accident, Mr. Ralph Green came to see me about some coverage for his '89 coupe. Good thing he did. Initial estimate was about $2,700, and final bill came in around $3,000. Yet every penny was paid, every part restored to his complete satisfaction. At Nationwide, we put our guarantees in ink. It's how we keep our relationships in mint condition.
Nationwide is on your side.
Get a car phone from Cellular One, and you won't have to pay for it until February 1st. So give us a call now.
Galileo is on its way to another world. With that statement, sounding like something right out of a science fiction movie, the commander of the Space Shuttle Atlantis tonight announced the launch of the Galileo probe on its way to Jupiter. The Atlantis itself, with its crew of 5, was launched earlier today when clouds suddenly dissipated over Cape Canaveral. The nuclear-powered Jupiter probe is already 7 years behind schedule, but the shuttle crew finally fired it into space just after 8 o'clock tonight, after weeks of protests by anti-nuclear groups. Shuttle Commander Don Williams said when the Galileo probe was launched, quote, "It's now in the hands of the best flight controllers in this world." Those same controllers will help to guide Williams and his crew home on Monday afternoon at Edwards Air Force Base.
Out in Colorado tonight, an emergency landing that left a lot of passengers shaken up. A Northwest Airlines jet made the landing at a small airport near Monte Vista, Colorado, after losing electrical power. The jetliner, with 104 people on board, skidded 1,000 feet off the short runway and into mud. After landing, the DC-9 filled with smoke. Many of the passengers say they were alarmed, though none panicked. One passenger said they thought the plane might blow up. The captain finally had to use an axe to release cabin pressure and allow the doors to open. One passenger was treated for shock and minor injuries. The pilot suffered minor cuts and bruises. The airliner was flying from Minneapolis to Phoenix.
The Reverend Jesse Jackson didn't exactly go back to school tonight, but he did relearn an old lesson as he met with the D.C. school board this evening. Some board members were reportedly upset that Jackson, a possible contender for D.C. mayor, kept coming up with various education plans for the city, but he was telling the media about them without consulting with the Board of Education. The board members said they'd be glad to work with Jackson on his ideas, but they also said they'd like to get those ideas from Jackson himself rather than from the media. Well, from Bob Ryan himself, we'd love to hear some good news about our weather coming up.
Well, we have it in the distant future, not in the next couple of days. Some wintry weather actually coming up, and we'll tell you a little bit more about what causes earthquakes. Stay with us.
A lot of people try giant discount drugs because of the convenience. But you know there's another reason that keeps them coming back? Reliability. Reliability means the prescription you need when you need it. It's counting on friendly service and the added safety of Giant Profile, our computerized prescription service. You know, it means a good value for your money. So find out just how reliable a drugstore can be by trying the convenient one, Giant Discount Drug.
Do you have to be the greatest director in the world? Fine, please. Action. Your hair just went zoom. Do something. Static electricity just like you have with your pyramid. You know I come to fight. Think about that fight that never took place. Oh, there we could have a good argument. I want to tell you. Oh, this Trump shuttle done set me on fire.
This meeting was made possible by the one business decision everyone can agree on, the Trump shuttle, the ultimate connection.
I'm gonna fly this shuttle.
In the past year alone, we've saved this country what amounts to 500,000 barrels of oil. Enough to fill a string of tank cars 13 miles long. Imagine all this energy saved, all because we've managed to get a gas, just like natural gas, out of garbage. And that's one source of energy we'll never run short of.
The anti-lock brakes on the 1990 Acura Integra were inspired by those used to stop jet aircraft. And while you might expect to find such technology on a multi-million-dollar airplane, you might not expect to find it on an automobile that costs considerably less.
The only thing worse than a window insulator kit that won't stay up is one that's tough to take down. Ouch. That's why you want 3M window insulator kits with genuine 3M tape from the maker of Scotch brand tapes. They're guaranteed to stay up all winter, yet come down clean and easy in the spring. No residue, no damage. Look for 3M window insulator kits. The difference is 3M tape.
Register to win a Dodge Dakota Sport 4x4 from Pennzoil at any Washington area Jiffy Lube. Now open in Vienna on the corner of Route 123 and Courthouse Road.
Well, Bob Ryan's kind of wearing two hats tonight. He's got the weather forecast coming up, but first we're going to talk some about earthquakes.
Well, you know, we talk about our atmosphere, the fluid, and as we've seen in California, our Earth is also a fluid, Doreen. An earthquake, it can have the energy of 1,000 atom bombs, several Hurricane Hugos, but energy that's released in seconds rather than days. Our solid Earth is actually laced with thousands of cracks in the crust called faults. In certain areas of the world, like California, the Earth's crust moves in different directions along a fault, and tremendous energy builds up. When the energy reaches a critical point, the stress is released by a sudden move in the Earth along the fault, an earthquake. The San Francisco damage was greatest in those areas which were filled soil rather than solid bedrock. Building on solid Earth swayed as the quake's waves passed. The looser, filled areas amplify the energy, resulting in catastrophic failure. What's next? Well, many seismologists say this was not the, quote, big one. The next major quake could be centered in Southern California.
In Los Angeles, however, we haven't had a great earthquake over magnitude 8 since 1855, so there's a stronger probability that one might occur there in the near future.
And for us, right now, what's happening, we can see that we've had the moisture sweeping up and over us, another rainy day, and more cold, cold rains to come, too. Big area of high pressure is out to our west. We've got northeasterly breezes. There is an area of low pressure. That's the reason that we've had the rains once again. Those rains will be continuing because that low will be moving up and over us and then producing some sizable rains, so that by tomorrow we will be seeing an area of rain expanding on in New England. But behind that storm system, it'll be cold air sweeping in on west to northwesterly winds. And as a matter of fact, there are winter storm watches out for parts of Illinois right now and Indiana. Let me take you and show you what's happening in over us, first of all. Here's the area of rain now that has moved up the coast, and we're seeing many of our weather watchers reporting temperatures in the 40s, an area of rain with moderate rain, and there's much more of it to come, too. Our high temperature today made it up to only 65 degrees. That was 1 minute past midnight. The current is the low temperature, 51 degrees with a gusty northeasterly wind at 20 miles per hour. Barometer steady. Take a look at the temperatures right now around the area. While we are in the 40s, many areas being reported just to our west in the low 40s. John Rizzo out in Linden, 41 degrees. It's in the 30s. It's snowing right now in Bradford, Pennsylvania. And then in Canada, it's like winter with temperatures in the 20s. This is the area that may be seeing the snow tomorrow. Indiana and parts of Illinois. Look at what the dramatic temperature changes we've seen in the last 24 hours. We're now 15 degrees colder than it was the same time yesterday. And we're going to be under that cold northeasterly flow for the next couple of days. So my forecast for us, overnight tonight, look for more rain. And as the moisture continues to feed up and over us, it will be slow to move out. Temperatures tonight will be holding around 50 degrees. The rain will be heavy at times. Tomorrow during the day, we'll see a continuation of rain, heavy at times, not tapering off until late in the day. When you get up, head out to work and head to school tomorrow morning, bundle up because it's going to be a really wintry kind of rain with that gusty northeasterly wind, a real evil day. Some lingering rain or drizzle tomorrow night, still only in the 40s to about 50 degrees. And then we'll see it beginning to break up a bit. Still a few lingering showers possible on Friday and still chilly, only about 55 degrees. Then, as we head toward the weekend, Saturday will break out a bit. Got the Weather Watcher picnic, still got to get that sunshine. Maybe we'll get in the mid-50s on Saturday, then in the low Sundays on Sunday and the mid to high Sundays on Monday. But cold and rainy.
The mid to high Sundays on Monday?
Did I say that? 60s.
It's been a long
60s.
day.
That has.
All right. Just the pressure of those angry weather watchers
but
is
it must
bearing
be the weather
down
tomorrow.
on
That's right. We're going to have it drying out for the picnic, Dory.
Okay, thank you, Bob.
We'll be back in a moment with sports.
The baseball commissioners made some decisions now about the World Series. Todd Whitthorne has details next.
Come to our country for its contrasts. Come for history.
And romance.
Ceremony.
And yes, romance.
And Delta loves to fly you there with special savings on dream vacations.
Your Jeep and Eagle dealer presents the 1990 Eagles. Eagle Talon. Eagle Summit. Eagle Premier. The 1990 Eagles, the way they're put together, sets them apart.
See your National Capital Area Jeep Eagle dealers.
Patrick Swayze is Detective Truman Gates.
Love you.
You know what happens when you say that to a mountain boy?
Kentucky was his home, but the streets are his beat. Someone killed his brother.
I want the man who pulled the trigger.
Settle this. Now, the only law to live by
Anywhere we want!
is the code of the hills.
You mess with my brother, you mess with me.
Next of Kin. Rated R. Starts Friday, October 20th at a theater near you.
You are what you eat. What's true for man is true for machines. Starting the day right can make a difference. Get Mobile Super Unleaded Plus. Its detergent formula can unclog vital engine parts. For power and performance, drive your engine clean with Mobile Super Unleaded Plus. Get a free Redskins glass with every fill-up of 8 gallons or more of Mobile Super Unleaded Plus.